Entering last year's NBA draft, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that Cam Whitmore was a lock for the lottery, some mock drafts having him as high as 7 or 8. Yet on draft day, he just kept slipping and slipping as team after team passed, until he fell into Houston's lap at number 20. And boy are they reaping the benefits as he's playing some incredible basketball. A lot of Cam's offense comes in transition. He's big, fast, and looking to run. Right now he's averaging over 5 fast break points every 75 possessions, which is actually third in the NBA behind just LeBron and Giannis. So we're not just talking about a guy who's capitalizing on easy runouts, but a legit force in the open floor. Here's one that starts with him attacking a backpedaling Edwards. He goes in and out to create a right-hand driving lane before gathering back to his left to lose him, and finishing through traffic. This time you're going to see him take a wide angle left in an effort to find an opening, but there's no real angle to the rim, so he instead uses contact, going into the body of Hawkins and spinning into a big-time dunk. Actually, that power game is his best attribute. He spends a lot of time in the dunker spot where he has great feel for moving to make himself available and gets above the rim like a 7-footer. He's just 19 years old, but entered the league with NBA-ready strength, and that shows on these plays where he catches it in the paint, takes a power dribble into the body of a bigger defender, and creates an angle to finish. In addition to the strength, he's a very explosive leaper off of 2 feet. Bridges meets him at the rim on his first attempt, but with a quick second jump, he gets it right back, takes the power dribble, and now he's scoring through contact. That simple use of the power dribble is the key to his inside scoring. When he catches the ball, there's a very slight gap in between 2 defenders, and look at how quickly he attacks that space, earning himself a pair of free throws. And because he plays so much bigger than his actual size, he's someone who can attack mismatches, sealing off Ish Smith in the post for a real easy catch and score. In other words, he's cut from the same cloth as a guy like Aaron Gordon, with the explosive athleticism and power to get into the lane and rise up through any sort of paint protection, while also having the agility of a perimeter-oriented wing, cutting backdoor and finishing with authority. What Gordon doesn't have though, that Cam's showing right now, is some great outside shooting. He's hit over 49% of his catch and shoot threes, which I know sounds absolutely absurd, but it is still just 67 attempts, so I'd wait for a larger sample before calling him Klay Thompson. With that said, I'd be willing to write off that percentage in limited volume if he were only taking high quality, easy threes like stationary spot ups in the corner. That isn't the case though. There's been some versatility in how he sets up these looks. For one, he's a really smart mover without the ball, who's comfortable shooting from anywhere behind the arc. So when he sees open space, he'll make sure to take advantage and get himself a good shot. Houston will even run him off of some screens. Reed's first instinct is to go under, which leaves Cam with a ton of room up top to pull the trigger. And the reason Reed wanted to go under is because when coming off of screens, shooting isn't the only thing you have to worry about. Here he attacks space with a big body shoulder bump and sets up a floater. As for his on-ball game, the reps are really limited for a few reasons. First, the Rockets have like 5 point guards in the rotation. There's only 1 ball, so naturally it's going to go to the best playmakers. Which brings me to my next point, Cam hasn't shown any sort of passing ability whatsoever. And like I said, you typically want the ball in the hands of guys who are going to get the best opportunities for the team. In addition to that, he doesn't have a great handle. He'll often lose the ball in traffic and can struggle creating efficient shots for himself when dealing with pressure. With all of that said, I don't want to make it seem like he's completely useless as a creator. He's got a very good first step, so when given space to attack, he can beat guys off the dribble pretty consistently. He also has that strength, which he uses to his advantage by bumping guys with his shoulder as a way to create openings. And when those two traits come together, you have a guy that when left with some room to operate, or maybe gets a good screen to turn the corner off of, he'll put pressure on the rim where we already talked about his finishing. It's worth noting that he's still only playing about 17 minutes a game, so for the sake of portraying how effective he's been in limited time, I want to mention some per possession numbers. Every 75 possessions he's out there, he's averaging over 25 points on 59% true shooting. That's not just good, but incredible scoring production from a 19-year-old. And in addition to the scoring, I think there are some interesting things to follow on the defensive end. Defense was viewed as a strong point for him coming into the draft, and it stems from those physical tools. He's very quick laterally. Here you can see him sliding his feet to take away any sort of driving lane from Cam Thomas. And I keep going back to that strength. Here he holds his ground against Naz Reid in the post, defending him extremely well without fouling. That pairing of lateral quickness and strength really helps him as a defender on the perimeter. He's agile enough to cut off a drive, and when a shoulder gets dropped into his chest, sturdy enough to hold his position and force a turnover. It also helps him defend wings who want to seek out contact, like this one against Jaylen Brown, staying glued to his body, and oh yeah, the explosive 2-foot leaping. When all of these tools work together, you've got some really nice one-on-one possessions. First, it's the quickness to stay in front of the ball, the strength to absorb a shoulder bump and hold his ground, then the vertical pop to send away a finish. He really only starts to run into problems when a screen comes. His technique is a little off, and he can be indecisive with his choice of angle. But Houston likes to put him out in these units that pretty much soft switch every action, and he fits right into that. There's no advantage being created because you've always got a versatile wing to stick in front of the offense. As for his defense away from the ball, a mix of good and bad. He's pretty disruptive with his hands, whether that's when helping on a drive or jumping into a passing lane, but his lapses in judgment are very consistent. This time he's on the weak side, and when Jeff Green comes over to double the ball, it's his job to slide down and watch the dunker spot. But he's late to react, and the result is a foul. These types of plays really show his age. Sometimes he looks a little lost. He doesn't follow his man on a cut, then overhelps on a drive that doesn't need any help, which leaves a shooter wide open up top. And then you'll have possessions that make you ask, what is he doing? He's not helping, but he also has no idea that his man dropped to the corner, just kind of sitting in no man's land. I also think he can struggle closing out to shooters, taking a bad angle with no path to recovery, which results in an easy drive. With that said though, every once in a while you'll get these plays that just make you wonder what his ceiling looks like this big time stop at the rim. I definitely don't think he's a positive defender at this very moment, just because of all the issues I talked about. But he more than holds his own when it comes to individual matchups, which is more than you can ask for from a rookie. As he grows in the mental aspect, just in terms of IQ and awareness, he definitely tracks to be a very good defender. And on offense, well, he's already looking good. The power game, the athletic cutting, shooting, and elite transition scoring, you plug him into any collection of players and he's getting the job done. I'm not sure what to expect from him as a creator, as he hasn't yet had much of a chance to showcase it, but there's no denying the off-ball game. The play finishing, the versatile defense, he's not even 20 yet, and he's looking like one of those guys who can really change a team. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profile. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you think of Cam. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.